Good afternoon. How are we all doing? Hope we're all well. Just checking that I'm live in the right place. Now, my neighbours are working in the garden and I have closed the doors, which I did have open because it's rather warm here. But I don't know how it's going to go with you hearing. I've got Hayden watching in from his bedroom. And if it becomes too bad, then we might have to end this. I'm just not sure how loud it is. I mean, it sounds pretty loud sitting here, but it might be that it doesn't come through on the camera. So we'll wait and see how it is. I think they're taking a shed apart or something. Yeah, you know that stuff you normally do over weekend. You know, but hey ho. Hello, Hayden. Thank you. Right, so today I've got something I was going to tell you. Oh, we've got free shipping. Don't forget, free shipping. That's happening at the moment until 11 o'clock tomorrow night, I think it is. There was something I was going to tell you, and I can't remember what it was, so we won't worry about that. But yeah, this week I've been sharing the scrapbook spreads that I did as part of the virtual album retreat. It was a fabulous retreat. Really enjoyed it. Took it out of me the times I did stay up. Yeah, I was good for nothing, but it was fabulous. It was funny. The presenters were, yeah, really funny. That is still available to purchase in my online shop. You can buy the kit, and with that kit, you get access to the Facebook group that it was done in. Now, obviously, Facebook is going to be removing the videos of the tutorials after 30 days because that's Facebook's policy now. But there will be links put in there to go and see them on the Stampin Up YouTube channel. They won't be public, so they are kept private to people who purchase. But also, which is an added bonus, they didn't give you enough page protectors in the kit. They 12 months, 12 page protectors, one each. Sorry, but of course you don't put your spreads like that, one each side. You don't use the first one because you have it double. So here in the UK, they have sent us a coupon to redeem for £15. So we can buy some more page protectors, or if you've already got page protectors, buy something else. So yeah, so if you purchase the kit, when you get your access email and verification email and that for them, you'll get your coupon code for that. So that's really good. But Hayden's fed up because he's having to listen to me going on, and next door haven't done anything as yet. But yeah, never mind. We'll see how we go. Right, so let's switch cameras. But Hayden needs to come and get his coffee because I think he's forgotten about it. Because I only made it half hour ago. But you know. Right, so I thought what I would do is use our June page that we made, July page that we made, because it's July, and we'll take inspiration from this to create our cards today. So we're going to go with the colour palette, which is Lost Lagoon, Darling Duckling and Misty Moonlight. So we shall use that with black and white, as is in the paper. Oh, and next door started a little bit. And then I've got the stamp sets that come with the kit. So it's the month by month alphabet, which contains 81 stamps. They're all individual and some little punctuation as well. And then the month by month that contains 44 stamps.
I couldn't hear that.
You couldn't hear it?
No, it's a bed.
Okay, that's fine then. Thank you. Your coffee's there, by the way. That's okay. Then you can't hear it, so we don't need to worry. So yeah. So I thought that's what we'll take our inspiration from. Because we can use as well the layouts that we use for scrapbooking in card making and vice versa. So I'm going to use each layout for 2 cards. Hopefully we'll get 2 cards done. I think that'll be quite simple. So we'll go with this one first. So I'll set that aside, and then we'll bring it back in afterwards. Right. So I'm thinking of a misty moonlight panel at the back. Let me see. I'm sure I have. Yes, got quite a bit of scrap misty moonlight that I've used. If you are watching and you can hear that, please let me know if it's too much. All right, so I'm going to chop that down to, I think I'm going to go smaller than normal and do a 9. So I'm chopping a centimetre and coming in a centimetre and a half by 13.4, and that'll be a centimetre and a half smaller each way then. So we've got that. Pop those in there. And then I'm going to have a white panel on top of that, which I might have a piece here I can use. So we will go 8.5. Take it down half a centimetre. I can sneeze. Oh, excuse me. So we'll go 8.5 by 12.9. And that should be a little bit smaller, just to give us that. And then I'm going to grab a piece of Lost Lagoon. So I'm sure I've got some small scraps of that. There we go. That one will do. Oh, that one, even better. It's a smaller piece. And I'm going to see how that would be under there. Quite like that, actually. So I'm going to cut a centimetre. This is, we'll cut it down to 5.5, just so we've got an actual measurement. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to chop a centimetre off. And then I'm going to cut this at 5. A little bit can go in the bin. And then I'm going to flag the end. So in fact, I'm going to cut it at 5, so it's easier for me to flag. It's 5 by 5, just so it's easier to find the middle rather than faffing with quarters or 2.5 millimeters, which isn't the easiest. So at 2.5 centimeters, and I'm going to draw a line up about that's probably 3/4 of a centimetre actually. So between half and a centimetre. And then I'm going to line up my corner in my cutting track. And the corner, the top of my line there and cut that, and then the same the other way. And move that. So I'll do that. Okay, and we have, I think I need a new blade and my trimmer. I seem to be getting through a lot of blades lately. I can't talk. I'm just going to neaten that up. There we go. I will have that. And I am keeping it quite simple. So I want a white card front, which is 10 by 14.4. Do I? No, I don't think I do. That's going to be too much on a card space. So we're just going to have a white card base. So I'll grab a white card base. As you can tell, I haven't really thought about what I'm doing. I've thought about it, but I haven't planned it, which is the norm with me. I'm going to make a standard card base, sheet of A4, cut in half at 10.5. Sorry, scored at 10.5, and then cut in half at 14.9. I'll save that for later, and then we can fold this. Yeah, and I like to butt it up against the edge so that I get a nice even. Because if I don't, I tend to find that I get one piece longer than the other. For me, that just works. And I've just realised it's kind of dark, isn't it? Because I haven't put my light on. Probably doesn't make that much difference to you. Right, so we've got our card front, and then we'll have that at the very top, and then that with that at the bottom. Now, for me, that's not enough. I want this smaller. There's not enough gap round. It's still too big. So I'm going to take another centimetre off each. And top and side. And the good thing is, we can do that and we can keep doing that until we're happy with it. It's best to have it too big to begin with, because if you cut it too small, you can't cut it, make it bigger, can you? At least this way, we've been able to cut it down until, so I want them about 1/2 centimetre away. I'm just lining those up so they're 1/2 centimetre top and bottom. And then how will that look? That looks better. Yes, I'm happy with that. Alright, so I'll just scooch that to the side. At the moment, I'm going to decorate this piece. I'm going to do some stamping. Now, all these stamps are photopolymer, so I'm going to bring in my foam piercing mat. And look, I've cleaned it. I mean, there's still marks on it because it's used, but a lot have gone because I have stamped on it over the years. And I just got baby wipe, and most of it come off. I didn't think it would. Right, so on here, I'm going to do some of the stars, or starburst, and I'm thinking I'll do a couple of the large. All these stamps need a really good wash because of using them on and off as much. and different days. Things on my hands. Some of them have lost their sticky on the back. So if you just give them a wash in warm soapy water, and they get their sticky back. Right, I am going to bring in my grid paper just to pop on here so that I don't stamp on my piercing mat again. All right, so I've got my inks. So we've got black. Oh, sorry, knocked you there. I'm going to have a black memento. Just grab that. Our Lost Lagoon, Darling Duckling and Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to go Darling Duckling for our large starburst. And I am just going to do it in the middle and then off somewhat. There we go. I'm happy with that. Just clean this up on my cleaning cloth. Which I've started using this instead of my scrub when I'm just doing this. So keep cleaning my scrub. That's easier to just swill out. Okay, and then I'm going to use, in here we have a smaller starburst. Now, did we have anything else? I'm just looking back at my page. Oh, we have some little stars as well that we used, which I can grab those. So let me show you. We've used the large starburst, and I'm going to grab the stars. And I did grab that burst, the little one, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to go for these stars instead, so that one's totally like different. I'll grab the stars. Okay. Right, so I want a smaller block for those. Somewhere that'll have to go on that one. And then I've got my two little blocks for my little stamps. Okay. So I'm going to use Lost Lagoon for my striped star. There we go, like that. Just the three is plenty on there. Clean, pop that back, and then for the tiny star, the solid tiny star, we'll use Misty Moonlight and just add a few of those round about our starbursts, like so. I'm just going to leave that one on the block a minute in case I want a few more. And then our outline star I'm going to do in Darling Duckling, and just have a few of those. I've done it in the wrong colour, but hey ho, we'll have some of those in Misty Moonlight as well. That's why I shouldn't keep two stamp sets, ink pads open. One in there, one up there, and then one there. That's it. I'm happy with that. That's enough. As a rule, I always close my ink pads. I thought, oh, it'll be all right. I'm going to do that. All right. So I'm going to pop those back, and then that will make our back panel for on there. All right. Now I want to do a happy birthday, and I'm going to do the happy in our rounded banners. So we've got this one here. It's like a little banner flag type. that'll look nice. And we can stamp happy in each. Just turn that card over, it's a bit dirty on that side. Right, so I'll have, and I think we'll do that in Misty Moonlight. And I'm just going to do happy. So I just want 5 of these. And I am going to fussy cut them out, or attempt to fussy cut them out. How successful at that I will be, I'm not sure. And I've just thought, I've got no black and white in this, but, well, I've got white, but I haven't got no black. So I'll bring in my black for my letters. So that's good. Right, so I want happy, and I am going to stamp each of these separately into the middle, the centre of those. If you end up seeing my head, I do apologise. Just check that's stamping nice. See, that gives a real good stamp. I love this alphabet. It's a really nice alphabet, and I'm going to do it all in capitals because we do get uppercase and lowercase for this, but I want it all in capitals because it's important. It's important to be happy. Right. I was not feeling very happy earlier because I've got a long drive tomorrow. I'm off to see my dad tomorrow. I need that P again, don't I? I do too. Yeah, off to see my dad tomorrow, which I'm happy about. Just not the drive. It's a long drive. But yeah, going to spend, me and Hayden are going up. Spend the weekend with him. Oh, excuse me. So that'll be nice. And we've been sorting out Hayden's stuff for uni. He's been ordering stuff that he needs. Doesn't want to leave it all till the very last minute, obviously. Right, I'm just going to get rid of my paper and my mat so that it's easier for me to cut this. I'm just cutting them separate. I haven't decided how much border I want. I don't want a great big border. We'll see. How neat I can be at doing this. Oops, gone a bit funky there. Got a bit of a jagged edge, but that's okay. That's not bad. I can cope with that. Push some rubbish to one side. I mean, I'm not fussed. They don't all have to be exact. If it's a banner, it's blowing in the breeze, so you might end up with some slightly different angles, and that's fine. Well, that's what I'm saying anyway. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. I know when I was on the retreat, a lot of people were asking if there'd ever be, I want to trim that down a bit, dies to match for some of these stamps. But I don't believe there is. I don't believe I saw them say yes. But who knows what will come in the future. I know that the papers that we used during the retreat. Some were current, some were exclusive, but they did say some are sneak peeks of what's to come, which is nice. All right, last one. Let's chop this round. There we go. Excellent. So we've got our happy. Let's get rid of the rubbish. Oh, dropped a couple of pieces on the floor, but I can sort that out after. Okay, now that will go across here. Now I know it's not going to fit direct just on that bit, so it will have to go over the whole card. And I think because it's quite large, I will overlap a couple of them a little bit, which is fine. Okay, so that'll be like that. And then we'll have a birthday. And I think I might heat emboss the birthday white on black. That might look nice. So let's grab some black scraps. It's quite a large piece. There we go. That looks good. Ooh. It's a nice strip. So let's grab what we need. We need our embossing buddy, our white wow embossing powder, and our Versamark. So I want to bring back my mat for stamping. Now I am going to want to have these lined up somewhat and neat, straight, because of that happy isn't. It's a bit higgledy-piggledy, which is what I want. I want this contrast straight. So what I'm going to do is draw a line, which I'll be able to rub out. I'm just drawing a faint line. You don't have to press hard. And then we can line our stamps up on there. So you can't see that, can you? But I have just drawn a pencil mark along there. It's not level to the edge of the card, but that's fine because I'm going to be trimming it out anyway. So embossing buddy over it just to get rid of any grease or oils off our fingers. And then I'm going to have birthday in lowercase. If I can find the right letters. Now I am going to get them out and line them up for speed of when I'm stamping. So that one doesn't keep sticking to my fingers. R, a T. And even though the Versamark does stay sticky for quite a while, so just make it that little bit quicker. D, A, and Y, somewhere there. Okay, and this is another fun font. So we'll do our B. You can put them all on a block together if you want, but I want to make sure I've got mine quite close to each other, the letters. So I've got a B. Maybe I can't see. Gosh, it's not the easiest to see. I'm just going to pop my stamps on top of my mat, my cleaning cloth. It's not the easiest to see. I'm not sure how this is going to work out, you know. This might not be very level at all, and I might end up going back and putting them all on the same block. Well, we'll see. Sorry if you keep seeing my head. Struggling to see where that is there. It's not exactly. Oh gosh, that's way off. It might be that I end up doing each one very separate. Literally putting a letter down, heat embossing, put the next one down. Because as you can see, yeah, that hasn't worked. The birth bit I could get away with, but not the rest. Right, that's okay. We can rub that off. Got the other end that I didn't use. We'll go again. Okay. Right, I'm going to pop them all on one block, and I'm going to use my grid paper to line them up. So let's bring the stamps back in. Now you can line them up on your grid paper like this and then put the block onto them, but because we've got that eye that just falls over, I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to use the solid black line that's on here to try and line them up this way. Be sorry again if you end up with my head. And I'm going to put them as close to each other as I can. Because the stamps do have a little bit of extra around them. Gosh, this is fiddly. Why did I decide to do this? D, I. I might get close. And that's not close enough. Gosh. Okay, and now why? Go slightly below. Right, I'm just going to look at it by lining it up, turn it round. And I've put the A on upside down. Oh dear. Turn our eye round. Line that back up. It's not going to be perfect, you know, at all. But as long as it's within. There we go. Right, let's try this now and see what this looks like. Give that a good ink up because lots on there. And then it doesn't matter about lining it up on the I'll just hold that to let the ink soak in. Right, we'll go again with our embossing powder. I think these are going to be too far apart. But we'll see. I'm not happy with that at all. They are too far apart. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing that this way. I forgot to open my piece of card. Tip that in. I don't think we should use the separate glitters. If I weren't on live, I would, and I'd do each one separately. But I'm sure I've got a nice birthday, just a very simple. Here we go. Let's see if that one. I've got one done. Look, I can. Oh, that's on soft C. Secret C. But that birthday, I think, will look okay. We'll just do the birthday from that. In fact, I've already got one in here. I keep forgetting about this. One little tub with things in. I know some of it's retired, but for the sake of a birthday, no. It would have been. And I did have some of those, the mix and match ephemera pack, but I know I've used birthday ones, so it's not a problem. We can just ink up the birthday from this. We can do the whole thing and then chop it out. Or we could have happy birthday. We'll see what it looks like on size. Okay, I'll stamp that. I'm just not happy with how that was looking. It'll just take too long to do each letter separately, and heat and stamp and heat, and so we'll do it this way. Right, find my heat tool, and I will just unplug my phone a second. It should be all right just where I heat this. But yes, I'm struggling on plugs again. I'll just heat that. Okay. Now, I had a funny thing yesterday. I was creating a card for a customer, and I embossed a little word, and it went all blotchy. Kind of was like that, but worse. It was terrible. And it was my old embossing powder, so I changed to use this one that I've just used, and it did it perfect. But now that's gone a little bit blotchy, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's something I'm doing or what. Like, I thought it was because that other was the old embossing powder, which is why I've stopped using it. But this makes me wonder, maybe it's not that, maybe it is something I'm doing. Now, I am going to use this just for sake of this live, but I will redo it. just trim that just to have a little banner. Now, before I put that away, I am going to see of whether I prefer the happy birthday or just happy birthday. And we've got that there, something like that. And then we can have that there. You know, and I think that at that size looks okay. So I am going to leave the happy birthday. Right, so we can start and put this together now. And clear a bit of space. Get rid of that. And I'm going to adhere these down. Alright, get some adhesive. And I'll just glue this flat. And again, I said it's probably going to be a quick card. And it's took longer than I thought. There we go. I am going to change my blade in my trimmer before I do anything else. Right, so I'm going to bring in I've got a stamp there that I've found that I don't know what it's out of. Bring in my grid paper to put these banner bits on so that I can make sure I get them level. I'm just going to add a bit of glue at the very bottom of there, and then I'm going to line that up with my thick line, and then I can see it goes over a little bit. You might not be able to see that, so I'm just going to scooch it over so I know I've got a little bit, and then counting the same amount on each side, which is about there. Yeah, I'm just going to tuck that under there. I mean, you can eyeball it, but that's just one way you can make sure you get it level. I'll just push that down a bit more. Okay, and I'm going to put glue on the back of there, and I am just going to eyeball this just so that we've got a little bit of the banner sticking out at the bottom. There we go. I'm happy with that, and then we can pop that on here. Do I want to pop it up or no? I'm going to keep it flat and then have my happy popped up for my birthday. Okay, we'll centerize that. Something I learnt on this retreat was common borders when you're putting things down. I'd never heard it before. But yeah, putting something in the middle so you've got your common borders round. Right, and I'm going to do this on dimensionals. I'm using the edge because I've used that many large dimensionals. I've not got many left. So H I'm going to put first, and that's going to go around. I don't want it too high. And if I put it just above centre, and it'll cut through that. And making sure I'm not going off the edge of the card. And then we'll have our Y and do the same. And that one, that's about level. And one of our P's to go in the centre. That's there, round about. Don't mind if it's a bit wonky. We'll go with our I. I can get the back off. Oh, and again, I want it a bit wonky. Don't want this too formal in appearance. There we go. So we've got our happy across there, like that. And then I'm going to put my birthday on there. So I'll use the edge of these because these are small enough, I think. Yeah. I'm going to pop a couple on them because I am going to change it. But just so that you can see what it'll look like. And I need to find out to master what it is that's wrong with that. With my embossing that makes it go like that. Okay. And then we just want a few little embellishments. And with the kit, we got these, which are the neutral matte dots. So we'll use those, keeping it with what it is. And we'll just go with white, I think, on here. And I'll have a couple there and one down here. There we go. And there's our first card. So really sweet. And if we just bring in these, pop those there because we'll want those again. Pop that out the way. And then if I bring in the page that we use for inspiration, you can see, because these have got the banners, which is what we used here, and the panels, which panel there, the hello are turned into a happy, and we've got the stars. So yeah, love that. So our second one will be slightly different. We'll use the same things, but we've got a black and white piece at the bottom, which I like. So we're going to do something similar to that. And I am going to pop it on the panel this time. So we can have a panel. I think I'm going to do, see if we can get this heat embossing to work. I'm going to have that. I want my sponge mat. And we're going to heat emboss a pattern on our black cardstock. Enough to go across the bottom of our card. And we will use, we've got lots of different patterns and things in here that we can use. But I think it'd be best to keep it quite random, not go for anything that's too... And I might do, I could do actually this, even though it is straight, if I did it along, we'd be able to get that. I'm going to use the stripe actually. I like that stripe. Alright, so we'll have it this way. And I'm going to use this. And if I have that there, so I only want it to come to about there, just mark it so it's a little bit bigger than what we need. Okay. Let's see if we can get this to work properly. I think I'm best working it down, maybe. So we've got it going off the edge. No, that's going to be hard going down. And I am going to leave a gap between each one. I'm just lining up the edge of my block with the last one that I stamped. And I've just realised I'm getting some mark all over my pad that I've just cleaned, but that's okay. And I don't mind that they're not exactly equal. They can be a little bit off, that's fine. Oops. Right, so got that. Let's bring our piece of card. This is just a piece of card I use to catch my embossing powder. We do the accessory toolkit, which has got the tray and the brush and the tweezers and the embossing buddy in. And it's one of them things that it's on my list. I would love. It would make things a lot easier. So we sprinkled that and shook it off, and see, that looks fabulous. Yeah, I would love it, but if I buy that, I can't buy something else. I only have so much money, like I saw. And I've got things that do the job of what that does. So it's one of those things that keeps being added to the bottom of the pile, like keeps getting put down, because there's other things that I want to purchase, like stamp sets. And right, just plug my heat tool in again. Nearly knocked my drink over. Right, so let's heat this. And as you can see, for this, it looks perfect. There we go. So we've got a fabulous, oh, not quite. Beautiful patterned design on there. Right, so that will go at the bottom here. We're going to have a stripe of Misty Moonlight and lemon lolly. What am I on about? I need a scrap of Misty Moonlight. That's white. That's not. Darling Duckling. Aha, there's one. I haven't got a lot of Darling Duckling left. I ran out of Secret Sea and got low on Cloud Cover and Strawberry Slush and ordered them, and now I'm low on the others. Well, not Timmy Tiger. I've got nothing against Timmy Tiger. I'm doing 1/2 centimetre strip of this Darling Duckling, and then I'll just trim the Misty Moonlight down to 10 centimetres, and I will cut that at 1 centimetre, because it's a 2 centimetre piece, so that will give me a piece for something else. There we go. Yeah, so I need to order, cut that down to 10 centimetres as well. Need to order Darling Duckling now. Which, any excuse for an order, not a problem. Right, I'm going to leave a bit of white at the bottom. Now, do I do it as it is on the thing, which is like that, or I'm going to put it on top? No. Or we can build it up above. In which case I'd bring it right down. I think we'll build it up. Well, I'm going to leave a little bit of white at the bottom. I like the little bit of white. Just think it looks better. Only a little. There we go. I can pop Misty Moonlight. And we could have used the two-tone cardstock for this. Now that I have every colour. If you saw that yesterday, my product share arrived from Emma Goddard, Coastal Crafter. I wanted every colour, but I couldn't afford in one go to lay out for a pack of every single colour. You know. So I joined Emma's product share, where you get 2 sheets of each colour. So it means now I've got some of each colour, and then the ones that I use up first, or get low on first, I shall replace with a full pack. So I'm only doing them gradually, which is a great way to do it. I'm just gonna have a drink because I'm getting a bit. Oh, wow. We have a snack box every month, and each month the snacks from a different country. Oh, this time it was Italy, and it's a pop that's come in there. I hope it's a pop. Yeah, it is a pop. And it is lemon soda mojito, but obviously it's lime and mint. But wow, it's really tangy, gorgeous. Okay, so we've got that. I've got mine with a blob of glue. That's okay, so I'll get the blob off, which then dirties it. And we'll just allow that to mainly dry. And then we can get our glue rubber. Just go over it. As long as we're careful, that will just erase that off. Just moves it along. There we go. We now have no glue on our panel. Okay. Right, so I'm going to do some stamping on here. Bring that back in, and my mat. And for this one, we're going to use the solid triangle stamp with the outline triangle stamp. I think they fit that way. Yeah, 2 sides are longer than the other. Right, so we'll use our outline and do our outline in Memento. And we're going to use the same sort of principle as our last one in doing banners to write our letters. Or maybe not, because we're not going to get anywhere near. Oh, I might if I wait a moment. I was hoping to get happy on there, but that's okay. If we tuck that under and I can come over, might just be able to get it on. Even if I can't get it on, it looks better having those extras there than just ending it flat. Lid. I'm going to bring in our 3 colours. for this, and our middle one is going to be Darling Duckling. I'm just going to stamp that right inside there, like so. In fact, that one can be Darling Duckling, and so can that one. There we go. I'm not worried about it being perfect inside it as long as it's within. Okay. One Misty Moonlight. Oh, I like how that's gone. Like variegated. I don't know if you can see that. It's lighter in the one corner. It's because my ink pad needs re-inking. And I would say that's the corner that was in towards the middle of the pad when I inked it up. But yeah, I like that. There we go. That one, my Lost Lagoon needs re-inking as well. I know that too. But I mean, Misty Moonlight is the one from when it was an ink colour. So it's an older one. It's lasted. It's never been inked yet. But they are in my next basket, ready to order next. Right, so I think from there we're going to we need something to tie in with the other one. So we need some of these, don't we? A Starburst. I don't want yellow, dark cream. So we'll go Lost Lagoon for this. We'll add it that side because we've got that there. I don't want it the same size. And then I'm just going to do one off up here. And there. That's it. That's our Starburst. I'll put that away. And then we'll grab our stars back that we used. So it's our stripy star, which can go on here. And the two little stars here. Okay. Right, so I'm going to go, I think we'll do the little one, that one in that. Misty Moonlight for this one. Poop was off my mat that's underneath. I am going to try and line it up and stamp over it. I think it just moved. Yeah. Oh dear. I know what we can do. We won't worry. Give me a piece of basic white and I'll stamp on and fussy cut it. The same problem with using the mat underneath the paper. It's easy to go off. That's okay, we can have one die cut and sticking up there. Right, Lost Lagoon for our little one. Okay. And then our final one. It's my own fault because I'm holding the ink in my hand and not doing it properly, am I? Okay. Oh, it's not so far down. Have I pushed my camera back? Has it fell? Seemed to be a long way down. Okay, and then we'll add in some of our little. So this one's very busy, but that's okay. Don't mind a busy card when it's something like this. Okay, that's those. So I'm just going to fussy cut this out. Concentrating. That's the thing, if you make a mistake, there's always a way to deal with it. Always a way. That just so happens to deal with this. It's footy cut a star out. And if we pop that on there like that, nobody will know that that weren't meant to be. And spread that glue. There we go. Alright, just grab hold of that properly. We're going that way, like that. There. I will chop it off, maybe. I might leave it actually, so that it sticks out the top and so it shows that it's different. Nothing wrong with that. Right, so we need either congratulations, happy birthday. We have got a celebrate in here, but I'm not sure it's going to be big enough. It's that one. I just don't think it's big enough as a sentiment to have just that on a card. We've got celebrate your day or something. We've got a happy days. Well, I'm not sure that's celebrate happy days. No. So I think I'll pull in a sentiment from elsewhere, which is fine, you know. We can do that, and we will go. Oh, actually, that's keeping it all very flat. But would that great big happy birthday? We could do that. We could even stamp it on something and fussy cut it. No, I know. We can have a banner. So let's have a look for a nice happy birthday or something that we can pop in a banner. What we've got in the mix labels, because that's got a nice banner. Happy anniversary for a great friend would be nice. But I think this would make a nice male birthday, and I haven't got many. There is a slightly bigger happy birthday. And then if I find a banner that will fit in, will it fit in this one? This one's out the mixed labels. It will. Right. We can use that, and then we can die cut out as well. And that'll fit in there nicely. Right. I'm going to move this because I'm getting in a mess with it. Let's move this out the way because we shouldn't make any more mess now. Right, let me grab this stamp and we will have that on basic white. We're going to go basic white or should we go colour? No, we'll go basic white. We don't want no more embossed stuff, I don't think. I should have some scrap. There we go. I say scrap, they're just oddments really. And we'll do this in memento so that it echoes the air. On there. I'll give that a good press on there. Lovely. And then we can do our sentiment, which we've got happy birthday, and we can do that in Misty Moonlight. Okay. I've not got much over. I don't like to go over, but and oh, it's a bit wonky. Just going to bring it down so that I can make sure it's straight. It will go on straight, or we can do it wonky. I think it needs to go with the banner. That's a bit wonky. There we go. Excellent. Oops. I can die cut this because we have a banner and the mixed labels dies to match, which will go that way. My tummy's rumbling, don't excuse me. I think it wants feeding. It hasn't been fed today. It's been one of those days. Yeah, when you think, right, I got up, did whatever, and then I'm like, right, I'll just do this and I'll have something to eat. And then something cropped up. And then it was like, oh, I need to go and have a shower. So if I have a shower, I have something to eat, do this, and something else cropped up. I do get quite bad for not eating. There's always something else that I need to do. And then I end up just quickly grabbing something, which isn't the best thing to do, is it? We normally grab something that's not too good. There we go. So we've got our banner, which we can add on top of the banner. I think I'm going to bring it down to there. And we'll add some dimensionals for that. Yeah. Oh, terrible. Need to eat properly. I brought a lovely. I've been lazy. I brought pre-prepared veg, but we popped in Sainsbury's yesterday just to grab a couple of bits because, as I said, me and Hayden are going tomorrow, and Dal didn't want me to particularly get anything in for him shopping because on Saturday he goes to the butcher, so we'll buy everything from there that he wants for the weekend. So I'm just going to pop that there, so it's just below, or just on the edge of those. There we go. So me and Hayden just went and fetched a few bits for meals, for tea, and they got these prepared veg now. I was like, I really fancy a dinner. And they've got these lovely Hasselback potatoes, and I was like, can I get this? I just really fancy doing this. And because I've got my live snot, I needed something quick. Hello, Julie. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so I've got pre-prepared veg, pre-prepared potatoes, and then Della had brought some minted lamb that we'd froze steaks. So I'm gonna do those. That's tea tonight, nice and quick, so that I can get back on for my live. All right, so we're just going to do some glue on there, and we're just finishing up our second card, my dear. And we're using, well, the cards we're making are inspired by a certain layout from the album retreat, the virtual album retreat. We're using majority of the stamps that we've used and things that we've used are from there, but I did pull in a sentiment and a banner to use for that. Right, so I think some little gems on there and we're done. I say gems, the matte dots again. We'll have one there with one there and one up there. There we go. Excellent. Oh, my tummy. We're on about, my tummy was rumbling, Julie, so we're on about food. Excuse me. And now I haven't eaten yet. Right, so let's have a look at what we've done. So our layout for our first card was this one. Let's push all that out of the way. And we've done, I haven't plugged my phone back in, so let me just do that, otherwise my phone will die. And it shouldn't, it should last this bit, but right, so we've got that layout, which was the first half. Always a good subject, I know, you know, food. Which we used the banner idea and the banner here for the hello and the stars to create that card. I really like that. I'm really happy with the way that one went. And then our second page was this, that got the paper across the bottom and the triangles with some of the stars again, and we created this. So we heat embossed our panel to replicate here, and we've got our stars, we've got the triangles, and excuse me, gosh, we've added those banner on, pardon me there. And then this one here, I made a boo-boo in my stamping, so I stamped another and fussy cut it and stuck it on top, and it overhangs, and I've left it just so it gives that little bit of extra dimension to the card. So there you go, that's our 2 cards with inspiration from our July spread. All done. All right, let's turn you back up this way. There we go. So I shall be back later. I'm going to go and eat food, but I'll be back at 7:30 where we'll be creating scrapbook pages. And I'm not sure if I'll definitely be using the same products, but I might bring in extra colours. I might choose a different layout from the album and recreate that differently. But I will do a run through of the album retreat so that you can see all the pages properly. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, I'm pleased with them. Like I say, look, I prefer the first one. I like that one, but I struggle for mail cards. I don't make many, and there I have 2. Right, I'm going to go off, make me some lunch, stop my belly from rumbling. So thanks very much for joining, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye.